Hello everyone, in this video you'll be learning about one-hot encoding. So one-hot encoding is to represent the true label with the combinations of 0 and 1s. So if you've got two categories, then you have 0 label or label 1. To represent the label 0, you have two digits and the first index is set to 1 and the other is set to 0. And to represent number 1, the first index is set to 0 and the second index is set to 1. So let's look at the second case where you have three categories. So the legal labels you can represent with three categories is 0, 1, or 2. So if you want to represent label 0, then you represent it with 3 bits and only the 0 position is set to 1 and the rest of them are set to 0. And when you want to represent label 1, then the second index that denotes the label 1 is set to 1 and the rest of the bits are set to 0. And when you want to represent the label 2, then the first index, second index is set to 0 and only the second index is set to 1. So only the true label is active with 1 and the rest of them are set to 0. So let's implement it with Python. So you've got labels with three categories. So the first thing you need to do is that you need to get the number of the categories in the list. So let's store it in n classes. And you can use length function, length labels, and let's print out n classes. And let's run and see the result. So on the right side, you can see number 3 is returned. And let's look through labels. For label, in labels, print label, and run C, you have 0, 1, and 2 being printed out. And for each label, let's one-hot encode. So the one-hot encoded value is, let's call it y, is mp the 0 of, because we want to create with size n classes. And to use mp, let's go up and import numpy. Import numpy as mp. And let's print out y, how it looks like. Y and run. So you've got each list consisting of 3 digits. And in labels, let's assign number 1 y. Y because it's y is a list consisting of 3 digits. Labels. And before we go on to that, let's delete this and print let's print labels that index label. So label, right, label column, comma, and see how what is it returned. Let's write index and see the result on the right side. So if you see on the result, index 0 is returned for label 0 and index 1 is returned for number 1 and index 2 is returned for label 2. So at the index of the true label, let's assign the position of y labels the index labels the index label. Let's assign 1 at the position of what is returned of the true label in the list of labels. So let's print y. Let's delete this and let's print y and see the result on the right. So for the category, for the element 0, 1, 0, 0 is returned, and for number 0, number 1, 0, 1, O is the one-hot encoded representation of number 1, and 0, 0, 1 is the one-hot encoded representation of number 2. So rather than labels list, let's store in one-hot list, one-hot labels. Create a list of one-hot labels, and then let's store y in one-hot labels. One-hot labels append y, and then delete this, and after one-hot labels is created, let's print one-hot labels. Print labels encoded one-hot encoded. So when labels list is one-hot encoded, the resulting value will be as follows. Print one-hot labels. So let's run and see. One-hot labels is yep, I got misspelling here, so let's correct this, and let's just close this and run again. And ls, if you run and see, there 100 array, and because what I added to its list, I needed to convert this to numpy array. So one more thing I need to do is that one-hot labels is np.array, convert this list to array. One-hot labels. So run again and see the result. The labels is converted to one-hot labels, and it will have values of 100, 010, 1001. So let's go back to where we stopped from last time. So I've uploaded the code from last time where we stopped, and let's resume from there. I'll put this link below the video in the description box. So let's click code and download it and open the folder, and you decompress it. Go inside and let's copy this and go to C drive and paste here. And if you double click this, here we've got main.py and preprocess.py, and let's go back to Spider and let's go to file, open, and C drive, go to C drive, and the name of the directory was multi-class classification with Keras in Python lecture 7. Go inside and let's open main.py, and you press Ctrl and preprocess.py, click it as well, and click open. Then we've got main.py and preprocess.py here. So let's print train y. So if you look at train y, you've got cat, 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 dog, and before you do one encoding, what you need to first do is that you need to change this cat to label. So firstly, let's labels. Let's create labels. Cat and dog. And let's go to preprocess.py. So if you look at here, if you go back to main.py, you are calling get train data with a given all file task. So going back to preprocess.py, so going to get train data, you have train data function here, and what it's doing here is that for each file you split and you are getting the label. So because you have labels, let's pass labels list, labels, and for each label, let's get the index. So what I'm going to do is that labels dot index label will return the index. So let's copy this, and this will be the index of the label, either cat or dog. And you need to, because there are two categories, let's get number classes first, node and classes, length labels, and let's create small y, which is the one encoded representation of each label, mp.zeros and classes, and in this index y, in the index assign 1. So let's add y to train y, and finally it will return the input list and output list. So let's go back to main.py and let's run this again. So something wrong here, type error, get train data, missing one required positional argument labels. So let's pass labels to this function, to this get train data function, and let's run. So the result, if you see here, train y is giving is only 101010, and for dog category it should give 01. So something is wrong here. Let's go to preprocess.py and let's print label and print index. So I found here, so what I'm doing wrong here is I did not get the index of labels. I missed S here. So what label was is that only cat or dog. So let's delete print again. And let's go back to main.py and let's run. So before it was wanna encoded, it had cat and dog, but if it is wanna encoded, because cat is a index 0, it is represented with one O. So if you look at here, these were cats earlier, and if you go down, dogs are represented with O1, O1, O1. So up to here, our input data and output data are prepared. So the next step is the fun part, which from where we will be building a model to train this machine. So I'll finish here and let's see again in the next video. Thanks for listening. Bye.